You may have watched my video about installing ABAP Platform Trial on a $130 computer. I don't know if you are aware, but you can connect your S/4HANA-like sandbox to SAP BTP, that is SAP Business Technology Platform. This platform is sort of SAP's attempt to get into modern technology and AI. Today I'm going to show you how to connect your sandbox to BTP using SAP Cloud Connector. This will be a short and very substantial presentation. First steps for further experiments. By the way, if you don't already have a system in your home lab that you can connect to the BTP, see my earlier video on installing a S/4HANA-like sandbox. BTP is not a free product, but SAP offers us a great option. A trial account for 90 days completely free of charge. So let me start by showing you in brief how to set up an account. I'm already logged into my primary SAP account, which you probably also already have. While of course this is just a prerequisite for creating a proper account on SAP Business Technology Platform, I select Try and Buy. I search and click on the link confirming that I want to start the 90-day trial period. I will speed up the next steps and hide my personal information, as it is a rather simple registration that you can handle without any problems. I simply log on to my SAP account. Then I need to verify my phone number with a code sent to me. I confirm reading terms and conditions. Rather standard statement. Now I need to choose a region. My account will be assigned to it. US East Virginia. I will need that information later. Now my account is being created. This process can take a while because various resources are initiated in the background. My account has just been created, so I can now go to it. And I'm logged in. In my global account, I see a trial sub-account in East US. I go there. I now have a free account on BTP. Then I will now look into connecting it to my home S/4HANA-like sandbox. The Docker image, which includes the ABAP Platform Trial, comes bundled with the SAP Cloud Connector, which allows you to connect to BTP. I will check at the beginning if the connector works. I'm logging into Bash shell of my Docker container. Now I'm root on the container. I'm going to USR local sbin, where a startup script of Cloud Connector is located. I can check status with proper option. The Cloud Connector is running. I could launch it using the Start option if it was stopped. It may be worth mentioning that I initially had trouble getting it to work manually. The ls of program, which is used by the startup scripts, was missing. But after installing it, everything works great. I already know that the connector works and how to launch it if necessary. So I can go back to the browser and log into it. You know my Sandbox 2 server from my previous video. The Cloud Connector is running on port 8443, so I open the URL. The default administrator's password is manage, but I changed it already. I'm logged in. By default, I need to define sub-account data at the beginning. This will connect Cloud Connector to SAP BTP. I need input from SAP BTP Cockpit, so I return there. To my trial sub-account. I copy sub-account ID because this is required. Beside that region is important. In my case, this is US East, VA. The API endpoint points to CFUS10, which is related to region. I'm returning to the Cloud Connector to enter the data. First, I'm choosing the region. I found US East Virginia on AWS Cloud Provider, and CF US 10 is also visible. Next, I paste the sub-account ID. Display name is not so important because I will only have one account. But for real large installations, it's always worth thinking about naming conventions. Now the important thing. You need to provide the email that is used in the BTP and the password for the account. Just consider that you may have used an account to which you log in using a universal ID, in which case the passwords are not necessarily the same. I'm saving because the rest of the data is not relevant to me. Success. No active resources available, but the connection has been established. Certificate is valid for 1 year, and the connection between the Cloud Connector and BTP is encrypted. Let's confirm the status in a lower section. Now I can connect my SAP system to Cloud Connector, prepare mapping, and in the same time expose it to SAP BTP platform. I'm adding a new system mapping. I'm connecting ABAP system. I have a choice of different connection types, while for now I will choose HTTP. Yes, an unencrypted connection, but only between Cloud Connector and SAP. Both are running on the same machine, so it's not so scary. The tunnel to BTP is encrypted. Here I define host and port of my SAP server for HTTP service. Both are running on the same machine, so localhost is fine. I'm switching to SAP system to show you how I know that the port is 50,000. Thanks to SSO, I'm logged quickly. You can check configuration in my other movie. In SMICM transaction, I choose Go to Services. As you can see, HTTP port is 50000 and this is active. I can return to my mapping definition. Now you need to specify the virtual host and port. This is the convention set for Cloud Connector and BTP. It's an additional layer of abstraction, making the higher level of configuration independent of changes below, such as network or host names. While this is a convenient solution, it happens to cause confusion. I will leave the topic of principal propagation for another episode. It's an important topic, but today our setup is supposed to be minimal. The connection has been defined. The Cloud Connector is thus connected to the BTP platform on the one side and to the SAP system on the other. But it would be good to confirm that the local system is reachable. Yes, it is. The last thing I will do is to expose URL resources from my server for BTP. I will expose all possible URLs starting with the /sign, which is everything possible. It's just a home sandbox, so I'm not worried about anything. On the other hand, with company systems, you should follow your corporation's security policies. Just to top it off, I'm going back to the BTP cockpit to show that my Cloud Connector is visible here. What more, I can see that my Sandbox 2 system is exposed to BTP via HTTP protocol and available. The setup was very simple, wasn't it? Very modern architecture. This type of infrastructure is likely to be appreciated by those who configured the connection of the company's SAP router to OSS in the given times. Yes, these days the architecture would probably be similarly designed. And what can you do now with the system connected to the BTP? That's a whole different topic.